On the Sofa with Esther. Every Sunday, a place where legends and stars hang out, sharing untold stories and unforgettable moments. So get cozy and relax into inspiring conversations that you won't hear anywhere else.
Joining me today are two powerhouse guests, Mautin Tairu, Nigeria's creative Vagabond and principal manager at Gaguru Talent Management, a bold voice in African film, branding, and storytelling, and Prince Kojo-Hilton, Ghana's renowned visual artist, filmmaker, and art ambassador. We're diving into creativity, ownership, and the future of African narratives. So welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let's get started because I really wanted to have this, I would say, sort of cross-cultural narrative discussion with you both, with Prince Kojo-Hilton from Ghana and Mautin from Nigeria. And it would be nice to delve into, what's happening around art and culture and music and entertainment, and how you are promoting your own culture amidst all of that. What is the importance of your own narrative, deciding your own narrative? So over to you, Prince Kojo-Hilton. For you as an art ambassador, what is the importance for you as a Ghanaian, as an African, with the narrative that you want to share with the world?
Okay, thank you so very much for having me on this worldwide podcast, and it's a very big opportunity for me to also share my knowledge and also learn from other creatives across the globe. So thank you so very much for giving me this privilege. So back to your question. Me being a visual artist or an artist or artistically inclined already, I fit into the space and whatever I'm doing as a creative. Okay. My role as a visual artist, filmmaker, and a theater practitioner allows me to fit in every aspect of the arts. Talking of film, you see me working on film set as an art director, sometimes a production designer. Okay, sometimes I do special effects and props. That is, I'm giving out my visual arts ability or I'm pouring that also into the film industry. Likewise, the stage productions in the theater as well. I work as a scenic artist most of the time and doing same. Aside my practice, for over 2 decades, I have been working on also promoting the creative arts. Okay, not only practice but also giving back to society. Okay, I had a program called SAF in 2010. I came up with SAF Support Art Foundation to help groom young artists, kids, let's say children, with the ability of art, who can draw and want to paint and want to become artists in future. I started grooming them within my community, and gradually that aspect also grew into what I call VASEP, Visual Art Students Empowerment Project, which also seeks to visiting or touring senior high schools within Ghana. I visited so many regions within Ghana, also with the same vision and motive of inspiring young artists, okay, and exposing visual art students to the vast job opportunities available for them. This same institution initiative also transcends to the tertiary institutions, which I had the opportunity to visit some of the universities here in Ghana, some in South Africa, some in Nigeria. I've been in UNILAG, in Lagos, in UNILAG. I've been to Ondo College of Education as well with this program. So you see, I see that we, the practitioners, also have a role to play in helping build our industry.
Yes.
So I took upon myself at a very, very, very early stage of my practice to also leave a legacy, train, groom, and also bring into the industry the young ones and also expose them to they should also expect when they enter into the industry. This is what I've been doing for the past years. And also, I came up with this program called Filmcraft Expo. Filmcraft Expo, with my background in film, is to also inspire filmmakers, especially the crew, the people behind the scene.
Absolutely.
Mostly what we have for filmmakers is film festivals, okay? But then I realized film festivals doesn't really harness the behind the scene people, okay? It doesn't highlight the behind the scene people. So I came up with Filmcraft Expo, whereby the behind the scene people can exhibit, showcase what they do, learn with through workshop, master classes, and all that. And I've been doing this for the past 3 years. We are preparing for this year's edition as well. One other program that I came up also with is the Arts Legendary Wall of Fame. The Arts Legendary Wall of Fame is an initiative, is an award scheme to honor legends of the arts and also come into Ghana's history. On award, it's not a plaque given to a celebrity to be placed in a room, but then it's a monumental painting, realistic portrait painting for myself, which is being donated to the National Museum or any national edifice to honor the legend, to keep their legacy. Yeah, so that's what I've also been doing for the past 6 years. I've been working on this also as well. So I have some of my paintings at the National Museum, some at the GBC, that's Ghana Broadcasting Corporation as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit that we're going to unravel, and because I really want to pull out from that when I next ask you the question about the importance of representing Ghana, and the impact of what you're doing on a global on a continent scale. Yes, and so Mautin, good morning. Now you are in Nigeria. And you also are doing a lot in the industry. Can you just share some of the stuff that you're doing, and why is it culturally important for you to be a representative of Nigeria and then Africa as a whole? What does Nigeria have to offer the world?
So I'd like to start by saying that we are all walking stories that are begging to be told. And the true representation of people or a culture is when it's being told by the same people. And for the longest, we've had Nigeria being one of the biggest producing country, third on the world scale. And for most of the time, the kind of stories that gets made and that gets spotlighted on the center stage are the kind of stories that doesn't truly represent our people, right? And this is because it's not really being told by the people involved. And for me, I feel like that's a very wrong way to represent people and their heritage and culture. And that's why it's very important for me as a Nigerian filmmaker and an African filmmaker to invest in stories that gets to enlighten people about our culture. I mean, I get to travel from time to time, and it's still quite surprising to see when people think that Africa is a country as opposed to a continent, right? And you see that there is a poor representation of our people, our continent, our stories on the biggest scale. And this is as a result of lack of representation on the big scale. So what I've been doing in the last 5 years have been much more about, first of all, representing my people to a global stage, because I feel like when the actors are well represented on a global stage, we can be able to control the narrative as regards what kind of stories are being told, what kind of stories are being made on the big screen, because I can then be involved in room where these conversations are being had. That's one. Secondly, our film, Mami Wata, was a retelling of African folklore which helps our people to understand that, contrary to what you believe and how our gods, goddesses have been portrayed to be evil, those people are still very much supernatural beings who has always been there to protect us amongst other things. And when you get to understand a lot of things as a result of the stories that we grew up listening to, that made it seem like we are the inferior person, we're the lower being, as opposed to the West. You get to understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of storytelling wise. You then have to do a lot of retelling of these stories just so our people can be more familiar with their culture, their roots, and heritage. So my work has been deeply rooted in retelling of our stories, reimagining the image of our people on a global stage in terms of representation from a cultural point of view, a storytelling point of view, and representation point of view as well too, because we are gods in Africa, and it's only right that we are being represented in the same way on a global stage.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And I can see the real strong synergy and body of work that you're both doing. The fundamental thing about that is, reclaiming the narrative, reclaiming your narrative, reclaiming the narrative of the land, of your people, on a wider scale. And for both of you, Prince Kojo, you said that you've traveled to Nigeria. What are some of the synergies that you personally, as a Ghanaian, feel you have with Nigeria in the field that you work in?
Great. We have a very beautiful history, Ghana and Nigeria. Goes way back. I can say we are brothers. So for what I heard growing up, the Ghana film industry or movie industry started earlier. There was a time when Nigerian filmmakers of Nigerians who want to learn filmmaking came to Ghana. NAFTI, that's my school alma mater, where I studied film, to study film. Okay, so I believe that was where it all started. The blending of Ghana, Nigeria, collaborative, creative ventures started, and it has gone on. A lot of Ghanaian actors have been to Nigeria to work, and you see, sometimes when you are working, we feel so comfortable. It's like Ghanaians love working in Nigeria, same as Nigerians also working in it. We have similar stories, and we love to tell our own story. Just that sometimes we forgo certain things. I could say details. We want to tell our stories, but our problem is we don't go detail to our stories, what the kind of stories we tell. Okay, and we like fusing in with Western lifestyles most of the time. But then I believe if we can focus more on our telling indigenous African stories, I think it will fly. And yes, my story with Nigeria is I've been to Nigeria twice. The second one, which was the Ondo College of Art, Ondo College of Education. It was a summit, a creative arts summit, that I was invited to come speak with the students in the university, the visual art department, the film and the theater department. And it was great. At the end of the day, we had projects done together, And then my second time was in UNILAC, was also the Africa Cinema Summit, which I was also invited as a resource person to speak on production design and art direction. And it was a great experience. One thing I can say about Nigerians, that they love to learn. A Nigerian will invest in himself, building his craft. I'll say this 100 million times. Nigerians love to invest in themselves, building their craft. And that's one thing I always stand anywhere and saying, that's why they are flying. they came to learn from us, but today I can boldly say that they are ahead of us. Okay, and it's because they love to invest in what they do. They want to always build themselves. I mean, to carry on with the mantle. So yes, Ghana, Nigeria has been in this friendship, in a creative art space, same as music. Ghanaian
Yeah.
musicians, Ghanaian musicians and Nigerian musicians are always, performing
Right.
together and traveling to both countries and always having something to share to the world. Names like Shatta Wale, Stonebwoy, Davido, all of them are always Nigerian musicians are always in Ghana, and
Brilliant.
Ghanaian musicians always go to Nigeria. So I mean, with the creative arts, we love what we are doing and we always go together.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Mautin, what about you? What are some of the synergies you feel Nigeria has with Ghana in the not just in the film and entertainment, but film, but also entertainment and music?
Oh, well, like he has said earlier on, we are brothers, and there has always been a synergy. I mean, my company last year won a grant that is sponsored by the Ghana film industry, 100,000 euro grant, no, 80,000 euro grants to produce a film on what's it called, gold mining in Accra, and we're
Oh,
currently in production for that. So they're opening up their film industry again to be able to help creatives tell better stories, fund their stories, and sponsor them on a global scale. So yes, there is always that synergy between Nigeria and Ghana, even like if this mentioned music as well too. And growing up, I used to watch a lot of Nigerian, Ghanaian films as well too. Well, it was Nollywood and at the time I think it was called Gollywood. Maybe it's still called Gollywood as well too. I watched the likes of Weaver Nelson, Majid Mitchell, David Gardner, quite a number of
yeah,
them, and
yeah.
it's there's some sort of similarity when it comes to their storytelling. I really don't know what happened with Ghana because Ghana was fast rising as much as Nollywood was fast rising when it comes to storytelling and going on a global scale. But somewhere along the line, I felt like I didn't hear anything from Ghana anymore. And in my head, I'm like, what happened? Like, because it was a thing of growing up, you watch a Nollywood film, you watch a film from Ghana, and that's how I got to know about all of this Nadia Buhari and
Yeah.
some of their amazing actress, quite a number of them that I can't remember now. And I remember I used to watch their film. They had series, they had films as well too that were amazing. They were amazing stuff. So right now, I feel like there is this relationship is being rekindled again because Funke Funke Akindele, who happens to be one of the highest box office producer, recently
Yeah.
shot. Our last film was shot in Ghana, and I know that it is the president opening up their country again for more cross country production. So I think it was a thing with the last governance that kind of like killed the creative industry, but now it's been revived again, and I look forward to
Right.
more amazing relationship between both countries because us coming together, we can do more on a global scale
More.
because
Yeah.
there are stories that have been actually, even my company right now, besides the grants that we won that we're doing a film with Ghana, we have another co-production that happens between 3 different countries, between Nigeria, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire as well too. And these are things
Wow.
that grows the economy, builds the industry. So yes, the synergy between Nigeria and Ghana as brothers is something that I grew up witnessing, and it's still ever growing.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It's amazing that time has wound down, and I don't even think that we've touched the surface, but there will be other times to build on these conversations with, with other people as well. And I would say one sort of fundamental question is, in terms of what you are not just doing in your respective countries, but on the global, on a global basis, what is the message that you want to, and I know you've sort of said it in your own way already, but what is the fundamental message that you are both sending out to the world about your respective industries? What is that fundamental message that you want people to know?
I think for me, I feel like there is this tinted image about Africans on the global stage. It almost feels like Africans are just black, uneducated people who have nothing serious to offer. But my message is Africans are one of the most creative people, one of the most industrious and hardworking people that you can ever meet in terms of creativity, storytelling, execution, hard work. That for me is how I want my people to be represented. We are not under civilized. Africans are hardworking, educative, creative. You can think of anything on the global stage. I mean, the World Trade Organization, the president is a Nigerian woman, basically, and first Nigerian woman, first woman at that to head such a big organization. So for me, that should be the true representation of my people, that we are powerful people. We are powerful in our ways, and our ways are very much set in building industries, building legacies, dominating on a global stage, and making positive impacts on a global stage. So yeah, for me, I don't want my people's representation to remain, oh, this is black, uneducated people, underdeveloped countries and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, you might find that in bits and pieces of some African countries, but that is not all that Africa represents. There is so much more about these people that goes beyond the pro representation of our people. And I want that to be our representation on the global stage.
Brilliant.
That's why storytelling is very important, because through storytelling, you can be able to showcase our rich, diverse cultures, heritage, people, the bustling environment, the beautiful landscapes, views, amazing views, and the development of the African continent rather. So yeah, that's it is for me.
Love the power in your voice around that, Mautin. Love that. And finally, Prince Kojo-Hilton.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, yourself.
Yes. Thank you. So, like I always say, for me, I would want Africans to embrace that notion that art began in Africa. Okay, we should embrace that art began in Africa, and we should invest in ourselves, nurture our young ones, and when we are doing anything art, anything film, anything theater, let's be authentic about it. Art is broad. Let's not limit what we do as artists to just some few areas. We should always find space to inspire others, and and nurture our young ones also into it. There are so many artists who will not even give space to their parents or their wards to go into the art, because they have not gotten anything tangible out of it from the beginning. But now I can tell you that art is beyond what we see. Artists are billionaires now. Artists are architects who are building stuff and making things happen across the globe. So yes, it's a viable venture that we should also encourage our wards to go into it. Okay.
Brilliant. Well, I've enjoyed this conversation, but there's a sense that there's so much more that we can really tunnel down and explore around this, because then I'd love to tunnel down about, some of those messages from your cultural perspective. What do those messages look like? What do they sound like? And also the impact it has on maybe retelling the stories, like you said, within the culture itself. So it's been great speaking to you both, and I'd love to have you back on again. Maybe we can make this a regular occurrence, to really build out those voices. And also it would be nice, Prince Kojo-Hilton, to interview some of those people in the background, some of the people that you're working with, Mautin, those people who aren't the stars, but those in the background, because it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise everyone. Individually, we need to have the village around us. So it would be great to get to hear from those working in the background, and how impactful it is in their lives. So I just want to say thank you. And let's keep rising to the top and keep spreading that authentic message. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, brother, for your time as well.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click the bell icon for notifications on future videos. Thank you for watching.